our beloved pearls Discourse. The victory of the ages is here, beloved students of the light, with no uncertainty. The glory of the light expanding from the beloved students of the I Am throughout America is beautiful, transcendent, and the most encouraging thing which mankind could witness. It has been our privilege since the Dictations began before your recent class, to go to various parts of America, and observe that which was going on from the entire activity among the students of the light throughout your country. It has been most gratifying, most encouraging, and even the divine director said, "It is beautiful to behold." So you may know when a great being of his authority speaks those. Day, Saint Germain came, when my heart was reaching out so earnestly for love and happiness, because my dear old precious aunt did not know how to give out love and kindness. She did what she thought was right, but you who have so great a love poured out to you and are people who release so great a love yourselves, can hardly imagine the condition that existed just at that time. However, in my great call to God, one night I suddenly awakened. I was just a little girl, and there my room was filled with a soft golden light. In the concentrated part of the light, I saw this radiant presence, and lo, it was Saint Germain. The curious thing about it was, I was not frightened. I just felt within me that it was the answer to my call, and surely it was. Then he said, "Child, you shall grieve no more, and you shall have the outpouring of the love that your heart craves, from the most unexpected source. You are not to speak of my visit to you to any living person. This will be a secret between just us. I will train you, instruct you in laws, the understanding of laws that you do not imagine as yet exist. As you gain in this understanding, you will find your being filled with love and happiness, and then a great sense of freedom. I will come at regular intervals and teach you." Just at that time I was not attending the public 320 ascended schools, and he said, "Now do not be disturbed about that, for I wanted so much to go to school." He explained, "I will take care of all that." Then he would send, "I wonder if you will quite understand this, yet I feel I must tell you. The messengers have told you how the ascended masters may project a form of themselves. When Saint Germain could not be present himself, he projected this form of himself, through which he taught me many, many wonderful things. Then one day he came himself, after Bob had become associated with Mr. Rayborn. With that peculiar twinkle in his eye, he said, "Don't you think you should go and visit your brother?" I said, "I should love to very much, but I have not the means to go." "Well," he said, "I think we can take care of that." So I awakened one morning a short time after, and there on my table was money to defray my expenses. In the exuberance of my joy, I was about to rush forward and tell my aunt, when all of a sudden I stopped right in the floor. Then I remembered that our contract was one of secrecy. So I stopped to consider. Then I knew, through my feelings, I was not to let her know. So I went forth to visit Bob, as I thought, and to my utter amazement found others who knew Saint Germain. Can you feel the happiness which filled my being through that experience? Words could not convey it. Then came the great revelation that Nada's mother had been trained by him, during all the years he had been training me. I found she had made the ascension. The day came when it seemed to me my joy had reached its limit. I went with Rex, Nada, and this good brother to Table Mountain. I felt impelled to go away a short distance by myself, and there before me was this great majestic being, the god Taba. As he talked to me, I realized, just through a mighty flash of feeling, that we were all being directed by a mighty intelligence clothed in a dazzling form of light. I want to tell you, precious ones, that Cyclopea, Arcturns, the god Meru, the god Taba, and the god Himalaya are beings who, the first time one sees them, seem almost terrifying in their majesty, their beauty, the intensity of their light, and the perfection which they are, yet with all that great and wondrous power, as gentle as a mother with her child whom she loves more than anything in the world. When it is necessary, like a flash of lightning their limitless power can be released, which is to perform a given service. Tonight I will try to convey to you, into your feelings, the enormous service which they render mankind constantly and have throughout the centuries, although mankind until now has known almost nothing at all about it. We love you, precious ones, to whom Saint Germain 322 has brought so much, and whom we love more than any words could ever tell in the world. Yet, we must love our own mighty I Am presence first. You know that is rather a difficult thing sometimes, when one has done so much for you. Only if you were in my position at the time he came to me and began my training, could you possibly know what my feeling is tonight as I endeavor to describe briefly something of my experience. I found in the Rayborn home those kindred ones already prepared. Yet he had not permitted me to say a word to Bob. Then I sent forth a mighty call to Saint Germain and I said, "Oh, isn't it possible for Bob to have this understanding, so we can go forth together?" That which occurred shortly afterwards proved my call was answered. Precious ones, as in these experiences which were ours, do you not see that every one of your calls must be answered also? It cannot fail, if you will follow what he tells you, give your love and adoration to your presence first. Then if at any time you feel a little inability so far as your outer requirements are concerned, call to some one of the ascended masters. They will always answer. It is the law of their being and the law of yours that every call for light, freedom, and understanding must be answered. If you are not aware of it immediately, please do not have a feeling that your call has not been answered. It always is. That is why. Tonight, and every day during the past 20 or more days, there has been pouring into your feeling world the glory of those who have been in your midst. Try to feel, as I am sure you are more and more each day, the great reality of these great ascended beings. They are so real. One day you shall know it, but until you do, will you not feel that our experience is real, and that we bring it to you for your strength and encouragement, that you may feel closer, closer, and closer to us? Until all human doubts and questionings are forever dissolved and disappear from your world. May I ask you to silence that human viciousness wherever you go and meet vain intellects which try to criticize these books, or that which goes forth in the magazine because they are written in simple language. That is all done for a purpose, so mankind may not be confused by involved terminology in any of the expressions used. The ascended masters could quite readily use such technical terminology that you could not understand a word of it, but that is not the purpose of this work. The purpose of this light of the mighty I Am presence, as the tall master from Venus said in the beginning, is that it must come forth in simple language which mankind can understand, and be free from the confusion of oriental or technical terminology. Will you spread this great truth everywhere? 324. People having vain intellects try to complain. Think of it. Who in the world of human activity is authority? The human mind has concocted all kinds of things for itself and has created the most outlandish words for scientific explanation, when a word of 4 or 5 letters would have carried its meaning much more efficiently. Wordiness and involved terminology is vanity of the intellect. Those precious ones do not know that, but such accumulated activity which has become dominant within them causes them to feel that in order to maintain authority, they must use so-called technical terminology. Think of it, precious ones, those great beings, who have such infinite wisdom, always use simple language which even a child can understand. This is the need of humanity today, because the world, through the old occult methods of former schools, metaphysics of every description, religion, and science, has tried to clothe the infinite, wondrous, beautiful truth with technical terminology. And it has but clouded the understanding of mankind. You today are fortunate enough to have come within the radiance of Saint Germain and the simple teaching which he has given forth. Yet it is so majestic and all-powerful in its action that it should silence every intellect which would try to find fault with it. So, if you will, you may render a great service by putting this before the people who complain that they think it should be. In a more scientific language. You see. Precious ones, those who really know are like a child in their gentleness to mankind, for the great Master Jesus said with such authority, "Except as ye become as little children, ye cannot enter the kingdom." Do you know just what that means to you today? It is just this. It means in humbleness, in kindness, gentleness, and gratitude is your doorway into the kingdom of heaven, which is the mighty I Am. It fills the earth with its happiness, beauty, and perfection, which is not found in the creations of mankind. All who enter into this great truth know quickly that the greatest happiness which they have ever known through human achievement or human contact was but a fragment in comparison to the great flood of joy and happiness which comes from an ascended being or from your presence. And we found that too. When beloved Bob was brought by Saint Germain to the cave of symbols and his first experience began, it was the most beautiful thing, precious ones, that anyone ever witnessed. The eagerness, the joy, yet without impatience, with which he entered into the instruction Saint Germain offered, and his speed of attainment has exceeded anything any of us has accomplished, because of his great joyous acceptance of everything which Saint Germain asked him to do. So it is with you today. Just maintain the great 326 humbleness in the human, kindliness, gentleness, and yet firmness when it is necessary in meeting human creations. You must not forget that. When you are meeting destructive forces, you must be dynamic and firm. Otherwise it will sweep you under. It is a dominating force, but when you understand your presence, and then are firm in refusing to give power to appearances of any kind, then in its great calmness you release from your presence, at your call, abundance of all you require to govern you in your world and give you the infinite protection of your presence. We have endeavored to convey to you the truth from various angles, and show you that you do have real dominion, for you have invincible protection in the tube of light about you from your presence. It is only when you give power and attention to something outside of your presence, or listen to foolish gossip, that you open, shall we call it, a tiny crack in the door of your world. If that is kept up, the door is pushed open more and more, until finally there comes a great rush of destructive force into your world, and an accident, an operation, or something of that kind occurs. Precious ones, oh, that you might understand tonight your great presence in its fullness, and that discord in the feeling is the cause of everything which besets your human form, either disease so-called or that which requires, as mankind thinks today, something to be removed from your body to give you freedom. Because of the belief of mankind, it does sometimes seem to be necessary, but when you think of it in comparison with your presence, well, it is not really necessary, is it? When you know your presence enough, precious ones, you will never need any outside assistance of any kind. Neither will you require the surgeon's knife to remove some part of you which seems to be obstructing the way. Oh, it is so wonderful! Yet do not misunderstand me. For those of mankind who know not this great truth, assistance is required of nearly all which the doctors or surgeons can give, except serums. Today in the great expansion of this light, beloved ones, you are the most fortunate of beings, for I repeat to you again, the expansion of the light within your heart and your world is the infinite, positive proof of your achievement during these many months since the messengers have come to you. Do you think you love them? So do we. Remember how Nada, Rex, Bob, Mr. Rayborn, and myself love them. Can you imagine our gratitude for this blessed ones coming into our midst and opening the door for Saint Germain to come and render the service he did for us? Can you? You do feel, I know you do, how greatly we love him and his precious ones. How we long to pick up these two blessed ones, Don and Marjorie, and 328 Ascended Master Discourses. Carry them away with us. There are others of the young folks for whom we would love to do that too. If they will give the full power of their attention in joyous, harmonious determination to the great source of life, their mighty I Am presence, who knows how quickly that might be. Oh, we would so love to just take away from you, instantly, everything within your feeling or mental world which longer deprives you of the great perfection which your presence is and holds for you. It is everything. There is not anything else. These things in the outer world to which you have given such power, and thought were so necessary, are sometimes but a barrier to your great freedom. Not that everything in the outer world which is of use should not be all beautiful and wonderful, but it is according to the way you qualify it, is it not? You see, your qualification is operating all the time. If you requalify the energy from the presence with something which harms you, then you are at fault, are you not? This is why we keep bringing you back again, and again to these simple fundamentals which, once you grasp them, will send you forth like a rocket into your complete freedom. With ourselves and the condition which the great law provided, we were so quickly freed from, not only the contact, but the disturbances of the outer world. Then with Saint Germain, we saw how the great harmony in our home had meant so much to our progress. Our home was our world, precious ones. Your home is just your world. It is not a building in which you may be dwelling, but your home is really your world. When you have come to acknowledge your presence, you have entered into your real home. As you steadily and surely give attention to your presence, it purifies, beautifies, and perfects your home, which is your feeling world. Then outer manifestation of every description must come into the harmony which is within your feeling world. Do you not see that no great harm could come into your world if your own feeling world were cleansed and purified? Beloved ones, whenever you call the power of the presence forth into action, be sure that you have harmonized yourself first. Call on the law of forgiveness for any mistakes, and place yourself in the proper position for the energy from your presence to come forth untouched by your power of qualification, to render you the perfect service for which you are asking. Do you not see, beloved ones, that if you call your presence forth with dynamic energy today for a given purpose, and tomorrow you become violently angry or critical of a person, place, condition, or thing, the energy which you have already called forth is compelled to take on the quality with which you charged it? I cannot see how anyone can fail to understand. 330 Ascended. This simple law. Anyone can, with the determination of his mighty I Am presence, allow the presence to hold its dominion in his world, through himself. Tonight, as the blessed ones are pouring forth their mighty radiance to you, join me, O beloved ones, in the full acceptance of their eternal freedom and all-powerful activity within you, your world, and your activity. As you do that, you have no idea how powerfully it will act. You are the decreer of your world. You are either receptive or repulsive to the perfection of this great energy. If you are discordant, you are repulsive. If you are harmonious, you are receptive to the great powers of your presence. Then its powers go forth unchallenged, unqualified, and carry its perfection into your world where nothing unlike itself can possibly exist. You know the old saying that two hearts beat as one? Tonight, there are many hearts beating as one. We are all beating as one heart in this room. Oh, precious ones, it is the most magnificent thing on the face of the earth to find those so loyal to the light, whose attention is so wonderful that it beats as one heart, the heart of the mighty I Am presence, the heart of divine order and perfection. Oh, I rejoice with you so tremendously, as do the others present, that you have become able to still yourselves enough to allow this great work to be done, this great assistance to be given to you. Many times we 4 children just burst into a song of praise for the light which is coming into humanity. We look at our blessed Saint Germain sometimes almost in awe at the majesty and power of his achievement for mankind. Then he turns and looks at us and, with that curious twinkle in the eye, says, "Children, stop that nonsense. It is very wonderful to enter into such happiness which is ours. You can, no question about it. Remember, we are standing by until your achievement, until your victory, provided you do not chase us off. Oh, we know so well what mankind goes through in the experience of human creation. Today we stand wholly free from it and the two worlds meet, the human and the divine. May I ask you again tonight, how many of you precious, earnest students have thought where and what that dividing line is? The messenger, I think, has intimated it to you several times. Do you know that dividing line is your higher mental body? There is where the human ceases and you become free. Feel, just for a few moments, the full power of your presence acting through your higher mental body. It knows your every requirement. Then just feel, decree, silence while I assist you, that now your complete victory and freedom is forever sustained, remembering always that your determination. 332 is the outer activity of the inner will of the mighty I Am presence. Then your determination becomes the dominant power of your presence to fill your world with its perfection. So as you accept this into your feeling world, we decree that it goes into action invincible to produce those results for you. Now remember, the life, the intelligence which enables you to accept this fully is from your presence. Do you not see, as you come to more fully understand it, that all activity is from your presence? If left in its complete freedom, it would produce quickly the full perfection which it is. Now call your presence to take full command or refuse, precious ones, any longer to allow any outer appearance to make you feel discordant. Refuse to listen to any discordant gossip of any kind, because that is the thing, if you listen to it, which in a moment finds entrance in your world and begins to whirl and disturb you. This is why the messengers and we keep pouring into you this mighty truth of the law which, if entered into, will produce your freedom from destruction. Of course, we never feel disappointed. Yet we want so much to give assistance, for instance, for someone's voice or for their health. But if that one allows the human to rush in or cause him to feel a lack of energy and strength, well, we just try to redouble the radiance so as to dissolve the acceptance of the appearance of lack, energy, strength, or help. What you can do, precious ones, is to stand firm, and with determination refuse acceptance of anything you do not want. Now remember, beloved ones, in all these dictations that are given to you, we are talking heart to heart. We are not talking for the criticism of some college professor. We are talking in simple language, that your heart may feel this sincerity, this loyalty, this truth. This is how you receive the greatest power and assistance which is possible to be given in the great stream of energy from your presence. When you sit down around your table at dinner in the evening, do you stop to realize whether you are discussing things you speak of, in collegiate, technical terms or not? Do not think this sounds critical, but in some of the schools we have visited, there was not any real help being taught. You know we had a very wonderful school. Now, we have a still more wonderful one. Some of the schools in which there is such great dignity and such great assurance that every word must be just so, the blessed students most of the time are being deprived of the freedom which is theirs. They are not gaining the feeling of what their instruction should convey. Think. The feeling is the important thing, for unless the feeling is improved by the language, it has become a dead language, so to speak. 3:30. This is why I am giving you this explanation tonight. For those who have been unfortunate enough to criticize the expressions of the ascended masters will do very well not to do it again. We are not concerned about the intellectual opinions of our language, but we are putting this truth forth in words that carry our feeling of your victory and freedom into your world. Is that not the most important thing which mankind requires today? Even in our experience in the retreat in Arabia, we have been given such marvelous use of the light rays in their various colors and their mighty activities. Already, we have been able to use them in an amazing manner for the blessing of mankind and the earth. Oh, how we have been able to stop destructive activities by these rays, we little children. We call ourselves little children yet. Do you not see, precious ones, how there is nothing in the world that can limit you? Even this good brother's experiences on the side of Mount Shasta, in the assistance of the ascension, is positive proof. Anyone who disbelieves it is foolish indeed, but there stands the living proof to all mankind, if they can accept it. Mankind is not limited today in a single thing that individuals do, except through their own human concepts, through their feeling world. As this good brother has told you many times, he had no idea what was to be done. Yet a mighty service was rendered through his higher mental body, the mighty I Am presence. Now that blessed one has returned to serve him as long as he wishes to serve humanity in the outer form. No earnest effort is ever lost. Your motive within you is the determining factor in your life. If your motive is wrong, it will bring unhappiness and failure. If it is pure and good, it will lift you to the height of eternal freedom. Then go forth in the glory of your mighty I Am presence, and have the freedom which it brings. Our love in its eternal purity and perfection enfolds each one of you like a mighty garment of light. With your permission, we shall qualify it to be eternally sustained and active within and about you. To produce much more quickly your freedom and perfection from all limitations of your own creations or otherwise, that you may quickly enter into the full conviction of your mighty I Am presence, to be the governing factor, the governing intelligence of your world. Stop forever giving power to appearances and conditions which are less than the perfection of the presence. Do not feed your life energy into appearances to harm and limit you. Do not. I plead with you, beloved ones. It is only through your attention that you feed your life energy to limit, disturb, and cause you to fail. So take your stand, if you have not already, in the great firmness of your presence. Refuse any 3:30 longer to give any person, place, condition, or thing which is destructive any power whatsoever, any acceptance or power. Those limitations came of your own creation and they have no power, except what your life has fed into them. Therefore, understand this simple explanation, O children of the light. Go forth from tonight in your mighty victory, free from the substance which has been qualified by human creation. Go forth, I say, in the power of your mighty I Am presence, the glorious victor, the glorious commanding presence over all human things. The assistance of the great divine director, before whom universes bow, has been offered and given you. Should you ask for any greater assistance in all the world of God's creation than that? It is offered to you as a glad free gift of love, from His heart to your heart, through the power of divine love and its eternal, mighty sustaining power. We love, we bless, we thank and praise you into your immediate victory, into your full, complete consciousness of your freedom and the power of the presence to stand guard over you. Call the violet consuming flame into action to prevent anything coming forth of your human creation from ever causing you accident, or disturbance of any kind. Keep calling your presence forth to rush its mighty violet consuming flame from your feet up. At night when you sleep, call the presence to pass it through the mattress of your bed, and keep this sustained activity going through you. Then see and feel the peace and rest into which you will enter. I love you, I love you, I love you, oh, precious ones, beloved children of the light. I love you, we all love you, forever.